Hello, hello, and welcome to another ohmTown special event. We'll just call it that. I'm going to be talking about Starfield Direct, and we're going to be watching a video and starting and stopping it. So let's get into it now. Hello, I am MayorWatt. That is Starfield. Well, that is Starfield Direct, and I watched it yesterday. I've seen it a a lot of stuff about Starfield, but I want to go through this and break it down quite a bit because I think that I'm going to end up playing this game starting in September quite a bit, and uh, probably bouncing between that and Diablo. I still play Diablo, but um, I'm not hardcore into it. I've been looking for a game that I can play in perpetuity. Like people play World of Warcraft, and they would be called like World of Warcraft main or whatever you want to call it. But I'm really into the idea of Starfield. It takes it. It takes what I think is No Man's Sky and makes it a little bit more um, constrained, approachable. Like the scale of No Man's Sky is really massive, but it's actually kind of cartoony, and um, everything that takes place is pretty much the same, like in every planet. The story is fine, is great. I love the massive nature of the universe, some quintillion plus, like 25 quintillion stars out there. Systems, I think it's systems, not planets, but like systems. I don't even remember the number anymore. It's just massive. Starfield is 1,000. It's a little more approachable. You do the same kind of thing. You mine, you craft, you find stuff, you catalog, you get rewards and awards for doing such. But there's a storyline, there's an end game. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. But let's get into Starfield Direct and let's break it down. I don't know how loud this is going to be, so I apologize if it's really loud. Yeah, it's okay. And I'm going to be starting and stopping this often. That sounds very Star Trek. Star Wars. The intro music.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to Bethesda Game Studios. We've been so lucky over the decades to make the kind of games that we love here, and that's thanks to all of you. From the Elder Scrolls to Fallout, we love creating these worlds and playing in them just as much as you do. And throughout all that time, we'd often talk about and dream up the space game. What if we could take that feeling of being who you want to be and exploring a new world, but set it in space, where you weren't really limited in where you could go or what you could do? And that is Starfield. Obviously, we've come a long way since then with the games we've built, our technology, and all of us here in the studio. We've done so much together, but, well, we've never tried to make a game like this. Today, you'll get to hear from many on the team and see so much of what we think makes our game special. So let's jump in and take a look. Starfield is our first new universe in over 25 years.
So, right out of the gate, the first thing that I said when I saw this way back when it was initially revealed was this looks like No Man's Sky, but with a higher resolution, more realistic world. I mean, when you first plop out onto a planet in No Man's Sky, this is what you see. You see this. It's just cartoony with more cartoony colors. I don't know how to describe it other than cartoony. It's not realistic. This is basically Icarus uh, style uh, planet building, I guess. I don't know if this is procedural and all 1,000 are procedural, and I can go to a friend's house and watch them play because this is a single player game, which is the only drawback that I have. I'll probably talk about it again. later on in the show, but it's a single player game, so there's no interaction with another human being, which is the only drawback that I really feel. I really wish that um, there were at least co-op, if not like PVE kind of a thing where we can all work together co-op style, then it would be great. If I could invite somebody into my universe of 1,000 planets, that would be absolutely phenomenal. Um, but you would need a server. You would need something that pins them all together. If you have, let's say 4 people, 4-player co-op would be tremendous. And whenever my world is live, I can invite you in, and everything syncs up, you know. But if the worlds are procedural, then what somebody else sees isn't my world. Whatever I should say, whatever their universe builds isn't what mine builds, and so it can't sync up. But let's get in. Well, let's just go through this. Um, I might get fixated on a particular topic. So, what's neat about this though is it's more realistic. To me, it's more approachable. To me, it really does appeal to me because I like these kind of space games where it isn't hyper kinetic, it isn't frenetic, it isn't crazy, it isn't bullet hell. I'm not running around. I'm building and crafting and um, doing uh, adventuring and looking at stuff and cataloging it, and it appeals to me in the simulator base building kind of way. And that's what I want to play here on Twitch. And I think this is it. This might be my forever game. If it wasn't for the fact that it's limited to 1,000 worlds, it's a tremendous amount of time to go and explore those worlds, actually explore those worlds. If they are on the same scale as something like No Man's Sky or bigger, truer to the real existence of, circumnavigating a world, there's a tremendous amount of days spent on each world, let alone going to 1,000 others.
But it's still a Bethesda RPG through and through, where you step into a new world and you get that feeling of unlimited possibilities.
Oh, and I
But
might be
this
drinking
time, it's not just one world.
some drinks.
It's over 1,000 worlds.
Now it
Because
says
the choice
over 1,000.
of where to go, it's not ours, it's yours. And it wasn't until now that we had the technology to create it. From the rocks at your feet to the mountains in the distance, to the people and creatures that live in these worlds. That isn't just a backdrop. That moon is actually there orbiting the planet. Yes, you can visit it too. We realistically simulate the galaxy around you.
This is just phenomenal. So, realistic galaxy formulate, or that's a solar system. Maybe they talk about galaxies and stuff like that, but the galaxy would be 1,000 planets. Solar systems or systems would be the star and then the planets and moons that orbit it. That one video, that one bit back there, here, I'll even back up and see that right there. So there's the sun, whatever the star is, I should say, at the center of this. I don't know where we actually are. We're in some far-flung place, but which galaxy are we in? Um, is it our current universe, our reality? Is it Prime, or is it some other alternate universe and we're playing just some random character? But we're humanoid, which is awesome. But are we going to be running into other things that aren't humanoid? I don't know. I don't remember. Other than animals, flora and fauna is going to be alien. But these planets, you're standing on a moon. You're seemingly standing on a moon, looking at a moon that's orbiting a planet that looks like Jupiter. But let's continue. It's all realistic physics.
There orbiting the planet. Yes, you can visit it too. We realistically simulate the galaxy around you. Our next generation lighting model uses real-time global illumination to light the world based on the type of star and the makeup of the planet's atmosphere.
That looks like the St. Louis Arch, but
we also have an all-new animation system. And of course, you can play it in third person, and you can play it in first person.
I screamed, VR, VR. Let me play it in VR.
We love exploration and rewarding it, but you do explore differently in this game given its scale. That usually involves exploring an area you've landed in. You can...
Okay, so what I want to do while we go through this is I want to look at the HUD. I want to look at the various elements and discuss them as well. So in the bottom left corner, which you can't really see, let me turn off my camera for a little bit. So right there is basically a compass of sorts. And it has O2 and CO2. It tells you what the planet is. There's other data points around it, and the information changes depending on where you are. In the bottom right-hand corner is the health bar. But that too changes, and additional things change as elements of your heads-up display.
And of course, you can play it in third person, and you can play it in first person.
So if you didn't notice,
we love exploration and...
Let's back up a little bit. This, the compass, watch when they turn, the compass changes. Oh, there you go. See the compass change?
And you can play it in first person.
So you have a heading, you can go towards that heading.
We love exploration and rewarding it, but you do...
Oh, hold on, I want to see something. There's a phase of the planet right there so that you can see where night and day is.
We love...
You have a survey scanner, flora, fauna, resources. There's 2 question marks, but I'm not sure what they mean at this point. Bottom right hand has been augmented with what appears to be ammo to a weapon, as well as your health bar. But I don't know if that 100 out of 100 pertains to both the ammo and the health, or just to the ammo. You know, you've got X of 100 rounds, because that does look like a weapon of some kind. But again, we're kind of limited in our knowledge. And the bottom left has been augmented now with gravity, temperature, O2. You're on a moon. It used to be a compass, but now it's modified. And it's showing you a range, 10 meters, 604 meters. It looks like there's something close to you that you're scanning, and then a target, a goal, a waypoint or something.
Exploration and rewarding it, but you...
So it allows you to scan and identify things like structures, plants. Then you scan them. I know
in
that
this game, given its scale. That usually
we've
involves
seen other
exploring
things.
an area you've landed in.
Terra root is identified.
You can collect resources.
You have a mining tool. Oh, that's what that is. That right there is your mining tool, and whatever weapon. It might be a multi-tool of some kind. But it's just like No Man's Sky, where you mine something and it automatically gets thrown into your tank.
Do a mission,
inventory.
And maybe even stumble upon something unexpected.
You find old tech. Looks like you have grenades. Somebody starts shooting at you. Switch weapons to machine gun, bullpup. laser talk. It's really loud. Sorry about that. So he cleans everything out, and you end up credits exist in this world. Laser cartridge with what looks like 54 rounds, a 3 kilovolt laser cartridge, and something referred to as Equinox. The thing that I noticed when I first saw this was that you don't have a take all mechanic. You have to hit A. So you're going to be spamming A quite a bit. And then there's a transfer thing, which I guess allows you to transfer it to some other location. Maybe you do have associates that will assist you based on the discussions that I've heard. But let's keep on going.
We do love stuff and all of the items allowing you to pick everything up. And you can view all that in your data menu.
Yeah, let's back up a little bit. So caseless ammo packs.
Up. And you can view
a hydraulic clamp.
That
a cred stick.
In your
a drink called Boom Pop. This is all very 76. All right.
Data menu.
Okay, and I dig this now. So you have certain skills in one corner, you have weapons in another corner, you have location in another corner, you have maybe a larger area as well. It says Frontier Class A. I guess the solar system is in the, not solar system. The system that you are in is in the bottom left corner. Your position and the amount that you have surveyed of the planet is in the top left corner. That amount surveyed is kind of unsettling because it looks like they've surveyed 44% of an entire planet. That seems like it should take a tremendous amount of time. But maybe it's only points of interest that are known to the system, but not to you. But this is very interesting. Let's see if they unpack this with a lot of detail, because I'm into this. And then obviously the weapons systems. Looks like you can take off from this. It says set course and find out what your status is, what the system is. This is neat.
This is the hub for everything you're doing, from your skills to your ship, your missions, and your inventory. We love to pack a ton of details.
Whoa.
To your ship, your missions, and your inventory.
In the core is your mission, I guess. So this is your inventory. Refined eon, not ion. Refined eon. Constellation spacesuit. So this is what's loaded up right now. You're wearing a Constellation spacesuit, Constellation pack, Constellation space helmet, minor utility outfit. Frag grenade is loaded up. You have some ammo, first aid. I guess all of your, if you scroll down, you can select all of it. It'll probably display it. So there's a fizz. I guess it does physical damage. That's what that is. If it's something else, it'll say laser or whatever else. Let me put my camera back on so you can, it's not just an empty box staring at you. But if there's something important behind me, I'll load it up. And ironically, right behind me is where credits are, and how much weight inventory is taking up. So I'm seeing 97 of 145. Whatever the mass is, don't know what it is though. So it's neat. You have a fire rate, you have a range, accuracy. I don't know what the accuracy is built on. If this is the estimated accuracy of this weapon, or if it's based on your skill set dictating what your accuracy is. Because some weapons have like a default accuracy in some games. It'll be interesting to see. Another thing that's really cool about this is the mods. 0 of 6 on this. This is screaming fun.
Pack a ton of detail.
Oops. Sorry. I want to go through this.
Your ship, your missions, and your inventory. We loved.
Okay, So this says advanced Grendel. It's a rifle. I guess it's in comparison. It says Fizz 17, but has a down arrow, so it does less physical damage or kinetic energy damage, something, um, than the other weapon, I suppose. Then it has cutter, mag shear. This is stuff that's in your inventory. Modified calibrated razorback, modified calibrated tombstone, then that refined eon, refined equinox, specialized calibrated Beowulf. Huh. So this one here, this looks a lot like the weapon that was used when they attacked the base. 170 fire rate. Its accuracy is lower than the other one. And each mag is only, what, 50? Must be. But you can put 8 mods on it, so this is pretty neat.
To pack a ton
Oh, so many. So many weapons.
of skills,
Gotta
your
back up.
ship, your
Sorry.
missions, and your inventory.
So
We
done,
love to pack.
done. Oh, okay, so they just went down this. This is the cutter. That's that mining device. I guess you can't modify it, but you just point it at something and it starts burning a hole.
A ton of
Mag shear. Doesn't do much damage. Has a big firing rate. I'm not sure what all it the physical damage. It doesn't do a lot of physical damage. But I think this is the thing that's kind of like a rail gun, and each one of those holes that are in the front have an independent line of fire. And so it actually does like a little cascade grid of beams on you, and that's where it's going to hit. So it's going to hurt if somebody empties a clip on you.
detail in
Oh, there was a rifle or a shotgun, and this is it says calibrated tombstone. It says 11 mm, so 11 millimeter. A magazine has 36, and I currently have 246 rounds. Rate of fire is 90. Now, when it says 62, we don't really know what that means. So, what does that 62 mean to you and me? I don't know. Long barrel, iron sights, large magazine. I guess those are the perks, the nature of that device.
every object, from all
Oh,
of your weapons
3D rendered.
to
Spacesuits. This is the mercenary spacesuit. So I guess it's more corrosive resistance, less thermal, and has certain values.
spacesuits,
Energy, electromagnetic protection, physical protection. Pretty cool. So all of this is going to be customizable, my understanding. And on top of that, each other person that's in your ship, because there's NPCs that become part of your world, they too will have their own personalization options, and they get to choose it. Apparently, it's randomized, but I guess we'll see.
to food.
Yep. You have to have food. That'll heal you. It'll keep you energized so that you can go and do work.
Just obsess over the details and food. We obsess over food.
Yeah, that was all
When
bugs
you're
right there.
obsess over
If
the
you didn't notice
details
it.
and food. We
Those are little bugs. Trilobites.
obsess over food. When you're done exploring, you can walk back or fast travel to your ship. We
Nice.
have companions and crew you can take with you.
So again, this
Or
is
fast
the
travel
the
to
scale of
your
this is
ship.
just phenomenal.
We
I'm
have
gonna
companions
love
and crew you can
being
take
able to
with
walk
you.
around.
I left
The level of detail here with the ships. There's just what amounts to steam um, being exhausted here. I don't know why your ship just seems like it's perpetually leaking something. But there you have it. Everything has weight. It looks like it's very grounded. This is so much fun. The world building so far has been phenomenal, and I'm only a few minutes into this thing.
Go here back at my ship,
Welcome back, Captain Howard.
and he can even say your name. Let's head out.
Our mission was to convey the wonder and majesty of space exploration, to evoke the romance of the golden age of early spaceflight. And we've been referring to this approach as NASA Punk. This means a design language where the tech is advanced, yet still looks grounded and relatable.
For us, it's that contrast. That's where the visual interest is. Obviously the NASA, which is the rigid, hard function over style, and then punk, which is all about style.
You can see that visual style coming through in your ship. Your ship is your home for you and your crew. And like many of the spaces in our
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. I wanted to move me over to the Starfield category. So they refer to this thing as NASA Punk. So you're following the rules and regulations, I suppose, of physics, but then adding your own personalization to it that might be disrupting the status quo of things. Let me back up a little bit more and
the wonder and majesty
we'll
of
go
space
through it.
exploration, to evoke the romance of the golden age of early spaceflight. And we've been referring to this approach as NASA Punk. This means a design language.
So when you're looking at this ship, it looks like it's piecemeal, and that's because it is. It looks like somebody just stuck a bunch of things together. I've always wondered about this kind of mechanic. It doesn't do well in atmosphere. So having a ship like this, the moment that it is at speed and ripping through the atmosphere, all of those little nooks and crannies are going to be ripping off. But it's advanced technology, so maybe we can. It avoids all of that in some way. But I love this. It's very steampunky. It's very chonky. It's approachable. You know, it's not just this boring, slick-sided ship that you just can't really connect with.
Where the tech is advanced, yet still looks grounded and relatable.
For us, it's
Oh,
that
you even
contrast.
said
That's
that.
where the
Oh,
visual
that's funny.
interest is. Obviously the NASA, which is the rigid, hard function over style, and then punk, which is all about style.
You can see that visual style coming through in your ship. Your ship is your home.
So my understanding with this is that you're going to end up with other people on your ship doing certain jobs. They have certain skills. They have personality. And their crew compartments will customize based on their particular procedurally generated personality, is my understanding.
For you and your crew. And like many of the spaces in our game, it has a slightly retro and analog touch, a bit of lo-fi rather than sci-fi.
Okay, that's just so weird in a future sci-fi environment to just have a random tube coming out of the wall and something that I have in my lab running from one area to another to draw air and then be able to collapse it back, is just sitting there. It's running across the ceiling. It looks like it's connecting right here to this, um, what would normally be something that reminds me of like an EVA backpack. Um, but then having this just coming out of the wall and running across there, it gives it a grittier view. But there's no way that this would happen in the future. But I love it. I absolutely love it.
Where everything is well used, worn, and lived in.
Alrighty. What's the plan, Captain?
So yeah, my understanding again is that the personalities for these for your crew complement is going to end up affecting their living quarters, how they dress, how they react to you, what they do, is all based on procedurally generated personalities. Pretty cool.
This is your star map. It starts with the
Um, Again, if you're just dropping in and you're watching this, then thank you very much for coming. I'm going to be stopping and starting this as I go through the 45-minute presentation. We're only about 5 minutes into this, but I've been streaming for 30 minutes now. What's so amazing about this is I've actually built using other components. I've built something similar to this, not for a game, but for my own storyboard or storybook world. Um, and every time I advance something in my storybook world, I end up stumbling across something where somebody is doing it or is so well funded that what I see them trending towards is going to completely eclipse what I am working on. So I just kind of can the idea. Um, yeah, I don't have the connections or time to do everything that I dream of. And this is kind of the game that I dream of. This is just an amazing thing. High resolution, at least even on this level, high resolution worlds, procedurally generated content that describes what it is. It even says flora and fauna. If there's water, this one says that it's radioactive water, what kind of resources are on it. It's very, again, No Man's Sky, but it's kicked up a notch. It isn't that it's a clone of No Man's Sky. It takes the ideas that everybody has had for the last 30 years about building a sci-fi space uh, what do you adventure, and putting it into a game instead of a book or just your imagination. They've taken the things that everybody really wants and then given it something a little bit more realistic. And frankly, I'm all for it. So again, like I said, I'll be all over this game as long as it doesn't suck. I've already pre-ordered it, so um, I've got some skin in this game now.
Planet you're currently on. You can see
Civilian
all of its
outpost.
info and resources. You can choose a landing spot or fast travel to known locations.
That's just amazing.
Backing out
I mean,
further, you can view
it really
all
is
the
just
planets in
like
the system.
it really is just like No Man's Sky, except punched up a lot. So it shows the system, all of the moons. Maybe if there's a starbase or some type of orbiting platform, it allows you. It shows you which planet you've selected. I assume that that's what the green one is. Although, let's see. Yeah, the way that it's listed here doesn't really help because it's not in any particular order, right? One, two, three. Because what's selected right now is the first one, if it would be there. So yeah, maybe they haven't selected it quite yet. One, two, three. Oh, so they have this one selected. That's the green one. And then they're moving the cursor over to the first one. So it'll show you graphically. Surveying either a system or a specific planet when you have it selected. So they've surveyed a particular portion of it. Maybe the entire system is this one here, right? Because it says 33 here and 32 here. So of this planet, they've surveyed 32%. But of the entirety of the system, they've surveyed 33%. Maybe. I don't know. This one's hard to break out because it says Parima. Parima 1 is typically the planet, right? That's the first planet of the system. Yeah, this might be the entirety of the system, and then this is the one planet, the first planet. Huh. This will be fun.
Obviously, the game is big, and it's here you can see planets that have key locations, missions, or life on them, versus the many planets that are barren, but
Yeah. So that's how it works. Um, you have the system up here, and that's all of it in totality. So they've surveyed 32% of it. And as they're moving over all of this, they've surveyed this particular planet. Or this is a moon actually of Parima 5. So it's the fifth planet out. That's the moon of it. Pretty awesome. I love the idea of this. But again, it's No Man's Sky, but punched up quite a bit because of the
resource heavy.
graphics.
Zoom out even further to see all the systems in this part of the galaxy. Here, you can plot a course to ones that are light years away. This uses your ship's grav drive to fold
So, my understanding with the grav drive is that you're going to be able to augment it so that you can move faster, be more efficient. Um, I haven't heard that much about all of this stuff yet, but as time goes on, I'm sure there's going to be more videos dropped. But this looks like it's going to be your standard faster than light jump
Space
drive.
and jump to these systems. And you will need to upgrade your ship and skills if you want to jump to the most distant ones. But for now, we'll plot a course to the Alpha Centauri system where we can find the city of New Atlantis.
So this is obviously bound within our current reality, right? But, I had suspected that maybe it was, but I didn't remember hearing Alpha Centauri in its initial review. Or I should say trailer. This isn't so fantastical that we don't have a grip on it, Again, I'm comparing this to others. Other space sims pull it so far out of our reality that it just doesn't connect. But here it does.
Guided upwards to just these boundless, vast
If you're just coming in, welcome
It's
to
the biggest
ohmTown.
city we've ever made.
I am
Not
MayorWatt.
just in size,
I'm talking
but
about
also in the amount of
Starfield because
custom art,
Starfield is going to be a game
crowds,
that I'm going to be
and
playing.
quests.
As long as
So
its
the main focus
initial
when we're designing a city is
review when I
obviously
play
what
it
supports the story.
matches
We
the
try and tell
hype
as
that
many
I'm feeling
small
about
stories
it,
as
then I'm
possible.
going to be playing it long term. So I
It's
also
a
do
few
a news
moments of
show
gameplay
every
that
day
make
at
the
9
space
p.m.
Feel like it's full of real characters that
But
are
I'll be
going about
playing
their
this quite a
day-to-day
bit.
lives.
It's paralyzing if you really stop and think
So
about
follow
it.
me.
Buddy,
That'd be
it's
great.
coffee.
If you have
It's
questions or
also
comments,
where
feel
your
free, throw them in
adventure with
chat.
Constellation begins.
So that watch is real. They've actually manufactured the watch along with other components, bringing it into the real world. Like there's now a real headset, a wireless headset with microphone and a controller that has the design aesthetic that's throughout the game. So it's kind of off-white, has what looks like a rainbow style color splash in various places of it. All of these people, by the way, are apparently they have a personality, and so they can walk around and you can interact with them. We haven't seen anything that is on the
It's a
fly
few moments
real
of gameplay that
gameplay.
make the space feel
Everything
like it's
is
full of
constructed to
real
highlight something
characters that
in
are
this.
going about their day-to-day lives.
It's paralyzing if you really stop and think about it.
Buddy, it's coffee.
It's also
Yeah, see.
where your adventure with Constellation begins.
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about.
By the time you meet them, Constellation is sort of seen as this mythical group. Most people don't even know they exist anymore. They're the last true explorers in the galaxy, and they're trying to find the answers to some of humanity's biggest questions.
The artifacts are so different, so alien.
What's cool about this game is the end game is already shown to you to some degree. You know that you're going to be interacting with this artifact and going out and finding it. And this is by the end of this, the trailer, the announcement. They tell you what you're building. They show you elements of it.
And I'm certain one of them reached out and spoke to you. The artifact, if you could place it on the table here.
Oh my god. Look at how it's coming together.
That means there's a set built by an intelligence outside the settled systems.
It's definitely an eclectic cast of characters. You've got Sarah Morgan, the ex-soldier and adventurer, now Constellation's leader. Mateo, the theologian who believes that there's definitely something else out there. Noel, the gifted scientist and Sarah Morgan's protege. And Walter, a very successful businessman in the settled systems and Constellation's financier.
Anything goes as long as you have the money.
There's also Vlad, the ex-pirate, Sam Coe, the former space cowboy, and Barrett.
You know what I hate about these pirates? Completely
I think that dude's going to be a bad guy on the other side of this.
The journey you take with
Deep into
Constellation
the
is just
story.
the first of many
He's
you'll
going to be a
embark
bad
on.
guy.
The Settled Systems is home to all kinds of different stories, people, and adventures for you to uncover.
Oops. So all of this, you can't tell me when you're looking at this that this doesn't remind you of No Man's Sky. The critters, the flora and the fauna, although it's more realistic, it's procedurally generated. It looks like No Man's Sky, except again, it's punched up quite a bit. And darker.
The United Colonies is where you'll find New Atlantis, the first major human settlement in space. The people who live here value law, discipline, and the legacy of humanity. They consider themselves the true children of Earth.
You ever think of joining up with the Vanguard? Help the United Colonies, even get your UC citizenship?
Do your part.
New Atlantis isn't
I'm doing
the
my
only
part.
city within the United Colonies.
Kill the bugs. Look at
The
that.
city of Cydonia
There's
on
one of them.
Mars
Go.
to this day serves as the largest mining facility for the United Colonies.
Hours without
Beyond
an
the
incident.
United Colonies reach,
That's funny.
you might find yourself in a much more wild and independent coalition of star systems. This is Freestar
Toshi
Collective
Station
Space.
to get some power converters. Oh, wow. Okay. The music even shifted to being kind of Wild West. That's pretty cool. I dig this. But why? This is like a forced aesthetic because in this day and age, you would be putting down roads, platforms, walkways, not making it out of wood like this. You'd have the technology to be able to synthesize whatever is sitting around you into concrete and forming it. You would just have to. I mean, you're spacefaring, for crying out loud. But I dig it. You know, although I'm criticizing it, I still think that this is awesome. There's a thing called the hitching post, just old school Western. I love it.
The capital of the Freestar Collective is Aquila City.
The Stone Root Inn is an Aquila City fixture.
A ranger relies on judgment and intuition.
I want one of those as a
to do
pet.
What's best for the people.
Neon started out as a fishing platform, but is now known throughout the Settled Systems as a pleasure city, where almost anything goes.
If you've got morality issues, this definitely isn't the job for you.
Was that the Mortal Kombat dragon?
As a pleasure city, where almost anything goes.
If you've got morality issues, this definitely isn't the job for you.
Ryujin is hiring the best and brightest of today for our future tomorrow.
Everyone has been chewed up and ground up by Neon. Try not to get yourself killed, all right?
Whoa.
Outside the bounds of civilized space, there are still plenty of unclaimed systems to explore, but these areas are also home to the most hostile factions in the galaxy.
The Great Serpent Hunger.
Okay. So these are bipedal serpents, maybe? Humanoids, but...
All heathens shall be made dust in time.
A new
reptilian
face.
people?
Is this the face of a brave runner here to challenge the
Or is
renowned?
everybody something divergent of human,
They
you
think
know?
the galaxy is theirs. They are wrong. It belongs to the Crimson Fleet. It always has.
Fight Club.
In
Don't show up with a
Starfield,
gun.
We're pushing our cities and settlements further than we
To a
ever
knife
have
fight.
before. It's all there.
Oh, wait, it's the other way
waiting for
around.
you. A slice of humanity's future.
So,
Man,
ready to get out there?
the size of this is just amazing.
Throughout the galaxy, there are so many things to see and stories to experience. But the most important story is the one that
I can't imagine playing this with a controller. It's just not my gaming worldview. I totally understand people buying into the gaming console controller kind of mechanic, but I cannot get into it. I don't know why. I guess I'm just too much of a tourist. Hey, Pilgrim. Is it okay to talk about what you say in chat? Normally, because this gets ported over to YouTube, and many of my shows all of my news show gets ported over to a podcast as well. I always ask before I say in the stream what people have typed into the chat because it's not presented anywhere. Let me know if it's okay to talk about what you just said. So the this game is just massive, and I keep comparing it to No Man's Sky. The world building, what we've seen just so far, is a game in and of itself. Now we're just about to start learning about going out to other systems that aren't even known. And they're talking about what other factions are up to, but are there other species? I'm curious if there's those, like, they had something that looked like a snake. So do we have a reptilian species out there? Or are we, proverbially alone, and it's just a bunch of different humans that have left Earth, started their own humanoid faction, and we're just fighting with ourselves out there in space. So Pilgrim said that they pre-ordered Starfield on Instant Gaming for 25% discount. Really? Huh. Yeah, that's what this is. This is the deep dive, unless you've got another one.
Utah.
So all of the people, right? So it shows where they are. It shows I think this is their destination, or I think this is the destination. I have to go back to the very beginning of it again. Skills, and then their weapons, and then this is the star map. It has a whole thing that goes around it as well.
I'm the type of person who spends hours in character creation, and I think people are going to be really excited when they see all of the improvements we've made.
Yeah, and character creation is going to be
through our character generation system. We scanned a wide range
my
of faces
stream just
from different age
for
groups
doing
and
character
ethnicities.
creation is
And
probably
by
going to
mixing
be
and matching out that data,
4
we were
hours
able to
just for
create
that.
highly detailed and diverse characters.
We use that exact system to create all of the characters and NPCs you're going to see in the game. So any character you see almost always
it
is a
looks
character
promising.
you could
I'm
make
hoping
yourself.
that it lives up to the hype that I'm feeling about it.
Hey, come on. Okay, take
Oh,
it
look,
easy.
you're awake.
You were out cold. No physical damage. Mentally, the jury's still out. You know who you are? New recruit for Argos Extractors? Ring any bells? Any of this look familiar?
Nope.
You start your character creation journey as though you're cycling.
They have this cool, like, DNA like pattern, and then you get to choose your biometric, body, face, background, and apparently 3 different traits. This being what looks like it's going to be a PC port from what amounts to a controller-based, console-based interface. You can see, left button, right button. The eye for details is amazing, says Pilgrim. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that they can't afford to leave anything out, because there's going to be people that are going to be nitpicking the hell out of this.
Through employee records. You'll pick
I'm
from a
just
lineup
having
of
fun
30
because
presets, and
this is
that'll be
something
your
that I
starting
want to
point.
play, and I want to play it long term. I want to
Your journey
catalog
from there can be
everything.
as
I want to meet
detailed
every
or
single
as quick as you
person.
want it to be. This new system has
I want to
more
go to all
offer
1,000
than ever
planets.
before.
As long as it's
It's
approachable
also
and it
the
isn't
simplest
bullet hell
character
all the
generation system
time,
we ever had.
then
We
I'm
let the
into
player
it.
get as close as possible to
'Cause
make
I'm more
whatever they
chill than
want.
anything.
With the various facial morphs you can blend together, the derm aesthetic and makeup, blemishes, scars, piercings, teeth settings, it's a lot. but I think it's the most fun to use.
Character creation is
You guys are
more than
cracked
just
up by
how
the
you
end of
look.
this.
This is also where you start to decide who you want to be. That's where backgrounds come in.
I love this. Oh. So let me back up a little bit because I think I might have missed
Decide
something.
who you want
That
to
very
be.
first
That's
slide.
where backgrounds come in.
So the background, you get to choose what you're going to be, right? So Beast Hunter, and I think these are templates, but then you can deviate from the template. So like Beast Hunter, Bouncer, Bounty Hunter, Chef. If you're, because there's a whole food element in this. There's a chef component to it. All of these skills, by the way, apparently from what I saw watching this previously, these patches change with your level. Each individual level has its own patch, which is just a trip that they put that much detail in. So, like you said, Pilgrim, eye for detail. Yeah, let's check this out. We'll go through this. This is the starting skills for the Explorer. I want a demo of this like right now because I want to start streaming this now and talking with people about it because it's just it's a single player game again, right? That's the one thing that kind of pulls me away from it. Only because I want to be able to, like, I want to invite you, Pilgrim, into my world, or you invite me into yours, and then we can play in the same universe co-op. But we won't be able to do that, at least not at this iteration. Maybe in a couple of years they'll augment it with multiplayer. But for now, this is the stuff that's sucking me into this game. And it reminds me of what's the game where you have you get bonuses, you get positives, and you get negatives. The zombie game. My brain just went blank. I'm sure you'll remember it. Let me know in the chat. So let's keep on going through this. This is just so cool. Homesteader, industrialist, long hauler. So if you're there's a new game that's coming that was part of the Game Fest, the Summer Game Fest, where you're going to be basically a space trucker. And I think that's actually what it's called. So now you can be a long hauler even in this game. It flipped too fast. I don't want it to go fast. I want to go slide by slide and look at the data. There we go. So starting skills, persuasion. My understanding with this, again, because I saw this previously a couple of times now, persuasion allows you to manipulate things and control animals as well. It says in the settled systems, the nuanced ability to listen and discuss can often accomplish far more than simply shooting first and asking questions later. There's a scene, I think it's in this, where the person tries to soothe the beast and control it. I guess it becomes a buddy or something. I don't know. Hopefully you can get pets beyond your friends and associates and that bot, but hopefully you can actually get pets. That would be great. They even have Ronin in here. That's interesting. Okay. Wellness, so you can heal. Commerce, so that you can get more money. Some of the stuff you can't see because it's behind my camera, and I'll turn off my camera if it's important. But money is a major component in this, so that you can go and buy supplies, buy ships, things like that. So medicine again, security, lasers. And everybody has a part to play. Like, characters exist and you can assign them in your ship to do certain tasks and their skills develop. And so somebody could be learning something faster in some other specialty, and so you move them over to do that. It's going to be pretty neat.
Backgrounds give you
Cyber Runner. For a combatant who values discretion above all else, the ability to approach a target while undetected and kill with a silenced weapon is as terrifying as it is effective. So there you have your assassin. But this is Cyber Runner, which during this demo, you could actually see somebody pickpocketing as well. And they're like 5 feet away from the target when they do their pickpocket. It's pretty good.
Bit of backstory.
And again, the skills change. So you get pistol certification, but then the badge actually changes as you skill up. It'll be pretty cool.
And start you out with 3 basic skills.
So that's what you start out with, basic. Interesting. Oh, that one's as chef. Yeah.
From chef to dusty. You know, the crew still has a betting pool about which restaurant critic you must have crossed to wind up here.
What's great about backgrounds is you never know when yours is going to come in handy. You could be in the middle of a fancy restaurant talking to some guy, and suddenly you learn he needs a beast hunter to help track down a monster.
Fine. I probably should stick to professionals anyway, given what happened the last time.
We're also giving you the option to customize your build even further by letting you pick up to 3 traits. Traits are completely optional, and they come with their own advantages and disadvantages.
Pretty
You
cool.
could choose to meet your biggest fan.
Okay, gotta back up. We have to look at
Advantages
these things. So alien DNA. Yeah, we haven't seen any aliens that are humans, right? That are humanoid. Whenever they've hinted at something being an alien, they've been in a suit. So I don't think I've seen any bipedal humanoid, right? Aliens, no interaction there. At least I don't think so. Maybe I've missed it. Distracted by something else on the screen. Dream home, empath. See what else might be in here that might be interesting. Yeah, empath allows you to sense people's emotions, I suppose. I don't know what spaced would be. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Pilgrim, I hope that they do exist. I don't think that they've seen it. I've seen anything yet, though. Got to save something for later, I suppose.
advantages. You could choose to meet your biggest fan.
By Vectera, by Vectera! Is it really, really you?
He'll
Oh, my
join your
goodness.
crew and he'll give you gifts if you're willing to put up with his constant commentary.
I can't believe I get to stand near you, breathing the same air. I've got to have every molecule.
Oh my
My
goodness.
favorite trait is kid stuff. You have to pay some credits to support your parents, but they're very sweet and it's really fun to go visit them.
Honey, we got ourselves a visitor.
Oh my god!
I came across some hostile zealots in space.
Pilgrim's a creepy stalker. Yeah, definitely. And hopefully you don't offend them, because then who knows, they might go off the rocker, right? And then having the kid stuff thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure this is going to lend itself well to role-playing game stuff, RPing, I should say. Kind of like what they do with Red Dead Redemption and pretty much everything. Man, anybody can RP something. Let's see here. I think they're going to talk about the
But because I had chosen a trait that made me the same religion as them, I was able to get by without any issues.
Oh, interesting.
There's another great one that gives you a damage buff when your health is low, but mercenaries will randomly show up and try to kill you.
Oh, wanted. Wow.
No matter what you choose, there will be plenty of ways for you to tell your story. And if you want to remove a trait, there are ways to do that too.
What a view! It's a feast for the eyes.
You push them off the
Off we
ledge.
go to another adventure.
Oh.
We'll let you discover that on your own.
I think I missed that the last couple of times I've watched this. I get distracted periodically, so I'm not surprised by me missing something.
Once you've built the perfect character, that's when your journey can really begin. We took what we loved about skills and perks from our previous games and put them together to create an all-new skill system. Each time you level up, you get a skill point, which can be used to unlock or rank up skills.
Okay, so now I'm really curious about these. Okay,
Which can be
let's
used
go.
to unlock or rank up.
So they scroll across 3 of them, and the first one is robotics. Spend 6 or more points in tech to unlock expert tech skills. In an age where robotics and autonomous turrets are employed in a combat capacity, the study of robotics can be instrumental in gaining a tactical edge. So you'll be able to weaponize your bot.
Skills.
And payloads. Any pilot can haul cargo, but it takes special determination and training to maximize cargo space. So you can do Tetris in your storage facility in your cargo space. Oh, I missed it. It's okay. So for the first rank on security, I think it is, you get, or cyber, yeah. You can hack advanced locks, and 2 auto attempts can be banked. Pretty cool. Hello, Tool. How are you doing? Let me know if it's okay to say what you type in chat. I don't normally do it until I at least ask. That way, if I mention something in the stream, because it gets ported over to YouTube, I might have to make a command that lets people know. So this will allow you to do some hacking, and this is pretty cool. 4 auto attempts can be banked. And then when you get to rank 4, 5 auto attempts can be banked. So it allows you to pick locks and stuff like that. Hey, you got it, Toll. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming and hanging out. You're suffering from allergies, huh? Yeah. Tell me about it. I too suffer. And first we had this massive increase in pollen, and then the fires, because I'm on the East Coast of the United States, just blanketed us with a bunch of smoke. And then rain came and dropped it all over the ground, and then wind is now out here and blowing it all around. And if I go outside, I basically die. So I'm glad that I'm streaming. So yeah, we're going over the Starfield Direct gameplay deep dive, and I keep basically saying the same thing. I'm going to keep playing this. I am going to play this so hard. Oh, okay. So yeah, this is the security skill, and as you go through the ranks, I hope that they highlight it. You get a different patch for every single rank for every single skill. And I think that there's 5 ranks. It's a blast. So I'm going to have fun. I hope that you can get all of the skills over time, because if you're going to be running around doing 1,000 planets, I think you have time. Toll said, I got excited thinking there was a beta I missed. No beta, but I hope that you stick around and chat. That would be awesome. And if you follow, then you'll know when I start streaming, because I'm going to be playing this like nobody's business. Hopefully, because I'm living in hype land right now. I dig everything that I'm reading.
Ranks are unlocked by completing challenges associated with that skill. Challenges become increasingly difficult.
Awesome. Good to see you.
Your way to higher.
See how the patch gets enhanced? So you're not just the same patch, but as you move through them, it gets more and more detailed. And just it looks like a lot of fun. I'm sure that there's going to be a way where you can actually acquire these patches in the real world.
Ranks. With our 5 different skill trees and 4 ranks per skill, there's a lot to choose from.
I like the xenosociology skill.
Do I want to go through and look at the ones that they did? So this says contamination. Here, I'm going to hide that just for a moment. So decontamination, recover from 5 infections. So you can have 5 simultaneous infections. Wow, what is this? I guess space is pretty contaminated. Slightly increased chance to recover from infections naturally. So that's the first rank. Let's go on to this next one. As they scroll across, there we go. So the next one is in leadership. Challenge progress 0 of 1,000. So you have to, it says sprint 1,000 meters with an active follower. So if you have your a follower with you, you got to run. And I think if you run too, I can imagine the mechanic here is if you run too fast, they just stop. And so you have to kite them to get this badge. Companions gain affinity 15% faster. Neat.
Trees and 4 ranks per skill.
Oh, they just barely skimmed it. Do I want to try? Yeah, I'm going to try. I'm going to try and get that last one.
With our 5 different skill trees and 4 ranks per
I missed
skill, there's a lot to choose from.
So in science, it's create 10 chems, and you can create improved chems and research additional chems at a research lab. So it looks like you're on the first rank. I think that you can get any of these, all of these, all at the same time. You can work on them all, like other Bethesda games. And this one is locked in an age where robots and autonomous turrets are employed. This is the robotics one that we talked about a couple of minutes ago, where maybe you'll be able to plop down a turret or something and it'll be on Overwatch for you.
I like the xenosociology
Warhammer
skill
40K
because it
for
lets
you.
you mind control aliens.
There you go. This is what I was talking about. So you can basically try and either, it says pacify that critter or control it. I don't know about flee or frenzy. If that might be a way to push it away, make it kind of freak out. Dole says, love space sims, many hours in Elite Dangerous. Yep. Handful of No Man's Sky. Started dabbling in Star Citizen, but it's still too buggy. Yeah. Yeah, it's perpetual beta, perpetual alpha. Lots of money over there too, but it'll keep on developing. It's too, for me, it's not chill enough. Star Citizen it's kind of like EVE Online. It's 4X stuff, and I'm too chill to play those games because I want to hang out and talk with everybody. And it's not easy to do that when you're in some hyperkinetic combat. The moment you leave a starbase, you're under attack or something like that. I know it's not really like that. You can be chill one way or the other, but it's way too involved to be chill in Star Citizen. You've been playing it for 5 years. How are you liking it? I watched Star Citizen's Kickstarter. I'm familiar with the platform that they used for their own Kickstarter style crowdfunding process. One of my projects actually uses a crowdfunding platform like that. And I helped fund a crowdfunding platform like that. You sure can if you're in a good group. What, just be chill or? Yeah, I suppose. Let's see. Toll says, I like that they beat ED to the star legs idea. Wailing around at stations and planets. And your ship is so cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is fun. Like all of these space games, and that's what's missing. Honestly, that's what's missing from this. There is no social mechanic in this except for NPCs that become buddies, you know? So you're not going to be able to play this with friends, but maybe eventually. Let's check the rest of this thing out.
Boost pack out of the gate. I'm boost pack.
It does this little wiggle. I'm your buddy now.
I like maxing out my physical tree so I can get neuro strikes and just punch my way through.
So the jetpack thing looks like a blast because you'll be able to just pop up out of nowhere and start blasting. At level 3 out of 10, I think, is that what it says? Boost pack training. Boost jump 10 times while in combat. So you just hop around and you'll level up. Sounds like fun to me. And then eventually you'll be Mandalorian. Pilgrim, get out of my head. Mandalorian style, that's right. If you can just sit there and hover with a jetpack and a fuel gauge, it looks like in the bottom right-hand corner is a fuel gauge. So that boost, if that boost keeps getting enhanced and you can hover for an extended period of time. I'll be the Mandalorian all over this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Toll says, I foresee Starfield online in the next 5 years. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what I said too. That would be awesome, huh? Yep. Man, I want to play this now. I don't think there's any open beta.
Physical tree so I can get neuro strikes and just punch my way through combat.
Oh. Wait.
And just punch my way through combat.
That knocked the loot right out of him.
And just punch my way through combat.
Look at that. One punch knocked the loot right out of him. Anti-personnel calibrated solstice. That looks like maybe a sword. Is that what that looks like to you? I don't know. A 5 kilovolt laser cartridge, frag grenade, UC naval cutlass. Oh, that's the cutlass right there. So the anti-personnel calibrated solstice is probably a blaster of some kind. Can't imagine hitting somebody so hard the loot drops off of them. Oh, right in the chimichanga and threw him over the ledge at the same time.
Invest in the skills that suit your playstyle.
I'm very much a stealth player. So, I'm out there pickpocketing everyone.
Yeah, this is what I remember from the last time I watched this. They're like 5 feet away from them and they're picking their pocket. That's pretty magical. Who doesn't want it now? Yeah, Pilgrim. Yep. Yeah, some of us, I guess, are going. It's not me, but some people are going to be ramped up and heading towards Mars to eat. Like The Martian. If you watched the movie The Martian, you're going to have to eat poo potatoes and hope that nothing pierces your space base.
My favorite part about being stealthy is slowly creeping through vents like you're in a movie and then jumping out and springing on people.
Whenever possible, I like to talk my way through situations.
This area's off
Gollum
limits.
in space. Hopefully not as boring.
Fine, I'll issue you an access card.
I'm more of a run and gun player.
Yeah, that's me.
I like doing the death from above thing where I boost pack over guys and I throw landmines at them.
Just dropping limpet mines on them. What's up, Tull? You feel somewhat let down? You're on subs for 20 years and would have loved to transition to the Space Force or on a ship. Not so fast yet. Oh, really? Yeah, wow, man, 20 years in subs, really? That is amazing. Yeah, I went to school and with a buddy who ended up going into the Air Force. Wanted to be a pilot, but was like 2 inches too short to be a fighter pilot and ended up as a nuclear sub tech. So talk about transitions. I don't know how he pulled that off, but Tull says months of isolation underwater traded for months of isolation in space. Why not? It's pretty much the same, right? Just one place is more viscous than the other. Both just as deadly. Both you can't breathe. But I'm a scuba diver, so I'm right behind you, Tull. If you dug the water enough to get in a sub for 20 years, yeah. Dry suit, wet suit, doesn't matter. As long as I'm in the drink, I'm good to go.
I like blowing stuff up.
Retaliator? I don't know that much about Star Citizen. I just know that it's trying to be very realistic.
Exploration is a key aspect of all our games. In Starfield, there are full star systems with new life, resources, and
Yeah, exactly,
adventures.
Tull. In deep water, you implode. In space, you
Our
explode.
team worked hard to strike a balance between fun and
Hey,
realism.
Nico.
We study data from NASA and a multitude of other sources.
Just like the others who come into the chat, I normally ask when they say something in chat initially. Usually, if it's something innocuous, there's not an issue. But let me know if it's okay to repeat what you say, because I don't have it displayed on screen, but I do say who it is and what they're saying so that everybody who might be listening to this, because it gets ported over to YouTube. Some of it might get ported into a podcast. But I run a town called ohmTown, and it's a whole pretty broad spectrum news aggregation site. And on top of it, I am doing shows here. Welcome. Thank you very much for following. Appreciate it. And Nico, thanks for following. Awesome. So what I do is at 9 p.m. Eastern every day, me and my artificial intelligence talk about the news that gets aggregated into my website over at ohmtown.com, OHMT, well, my website. It says it right there. But ohmtown.com. And so I built that site so that I could aggregate news, and I aggregate about 200 news sources into 6 main categories. And then I'm hoping to create channels here with hosts and co-hosts to talk about niche topics and focus on them. But I have so many areas of interest that I don't do a real deep dive into anything. But I'm falling in love with Starfield like no other game that I've played, and I haven't even played it, right? So I'm feeling the hype in a very significant way. So I'm talking about it, and I'm going to keep myself in that moment. I really dig No Man's Sky, but it has its own little idiosyncrasies. Its massive scale is almost unapproachable. And it seems like every planet is always the same, whereas this is giving me the idea that it's constrained. Each planet's unique. Each system, the story is actually unique. The resolution is spectacular. I love everything that I've seen so far. Its only limit is it's single player only. So I would love to have all of you in, my world. Or be invited into yours. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So you said that it's already the top selling game? Really? Well, I added to it, so I've already purchased it. So Toll says, I wonder if they include it in their projected sales, all of the copies on Game Pass. Yeah, I don't know. No Man's Sky bothered you because if you take time to build a base early in the game, it's useless later because it's too far away and you wasted resources. And there's a build limit, like a significant build limit, when you're going to be spending, if you're going to spend a considerable amount of time in No Man's Sky, and there's something like 16 quintillion planets, you need more build opportunity. And it's very constrained in that massive scale. It's very small. My understanding is that it's really small. I've never hit the limit, but my understanding is that it's pretty constrained. So thanks for the follows. Appreciate it. Here, we're about halfway through this, so let's see if I can get a little distance in this.
To help us make the world feel
it's just so big. I dig this.
From the way we approached planetary atmospheres to the way we placed
the atmosphere is very Star Citizen-esque. Apparently the sun, the planets,
we can start looking at all the things that make that world
atmospherics, everything is dynamic.
When you leave a planet and head into space, you'll be navigating asteroid fields, having chance meetings with interesting strangers, dogfighting in space, and exploring derelict ships.
It certainly seems like they took everything from all the other games and punched it up, constrained it so it was approachable.
Ultimately, It's about rewarding your curiosity. Because whether it's on the surface of a planet, the alleys of a city, or the vastness of space, you never know what you'll find.
And when things land and take off and are just sitting there, it feels like you feel it sitting there. It's
Space
like it's really
exploration is
substantial.
possible, thanks
You know,
to your
it's
ship.
really there.
Your ship
So
is
cool.
almost like having another character or home you can make all your own. I think you'll be blown away by the amount of stuff you can do. You can buy a ship.
Yep.
Sure you can find something you like?
Pilgrim says it looks
customize
so
and
real.
Upgrade that ship.
Where No Man's
And
Sky is
hire
more
a crew to
cartoonish.
keep it
That's
up and
exactly what
running.
I've been saying for the last hour. Yeah.
And it all starts in spaceports.
What just happened?
Every spaceport has a ship technician
That was
where
weird.
you can purchase, sell, and modify ships.
Anything I can help you with?
Maybe
Yep,
you
you're
start
absolutely
off with a
right,
speedy
Pilgrim.
fighter that's perfect for bounty hunting. Then you might
Cradles
round
the
out your
feeling
ship
of
roster
walking
with a
there
hulking
yourself and
space
being
freighter
part
to
of
run
it.
cargo missions, or even do a little smuggling. For now, though, we're going to take our starting ship, the Frontier, and make some changes.
This is so
You
cool.
can customize and upgrade everything.
Okay, gotta talk about it. So they had this default ship sitting here, and then they just tore it apart, right? Now, all of the weapons are broken out. You have a central core hab or habitat. I'm sure that's what they're referring to. It has landing gear, and you can swap those out, I'm sure, and make different ones, install different ones. Looks like an entry gantry loading bay kind of a thing. Cargo holds. Your reactor guaranteed to be able to upgrade and change. Different engines. Your gravity drive, we already know, can be upgraded. Fuel tanks, a dock, shield generator you're going to need because you're going to run into strangers out there that want to eliminate you, and a cowling, but I don't know what the cowling is going to do. This thing is so chunky that atmospherics are going to be, you either have to suspend belief because the shield generator is protecting it from the atmosphere, or if the atmosphere is actually hitting something that is this aerodynamically incorrect for landing in atmosphere, you might as well just expect pieces to go flinging off as you're making entry. But I love this, and everything clicks together. And my understanding is that openings and stuff like that will automatically exist. Like, you don't really see it here, but there will be a door here. Once it connects, it'll open up and close and stuff like that. You don't have to do anything special.
Thing you see here. And you have two ways to do that. You can quickly upgrade individual systems like your weapons or shields, or you can deep dive and enter the shipbuilder mode. Here you can change anything from the systems to the look and layout. Adding a new habitat module can give you more room.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So you can just pop it off and put another module in. Let's see. Changes the jump range, shield, cargo, max crew. And you can build up a crew. You actually have relationships and stuff like that with them throughout time in your game. It's pretty slick. I like this.
Room for crew. Adding cowling can change your ship's overall silhouette.
Oh, okay.
An improved grav drive allows for longer distance space jumps.
Yeah, so they just went from 15 light years to 18 light years. And like I said earlier, your credits are going to be very important in this. So cowling, Pilgrim says, cowling is like the bodywork on a car that you can change, give it a different look. Yep. Till said, really look forward to customizing a ship. That seems like it'll be cool. If you've never seen this before, you'll get a chuckle out of some of these things that they're going to talk about.
You can even fully customize your paint job to get the exact look you want.
Man, this is going to be so cool.
The parts you choose to build with don't just affect your ship's stats. They'll also affect what you can do inside your ship. You can have modules for crafting or for storing and displaying your weapons.
That's so cool.
Starfield's in-game ship manufacturers bring their own look and feel to every piece of your.
So what they just said was that that there are in-game ship manufacturers. So when you go to somebody and you go to buy a module, it'll have their particular feel to it. And so when you bolt it onto your ship, you'll have to retrofit it to make it match your look. Unless there's an option where you say, I want it to match automatically. There may be some mechanic in there that affords that.
Ship. From living quarters to cargo holds, mess halls, and control rooms.
So cool. So you get to personalize everything. Yeah, change like the landing gear, change the engines, the paint job. I wonder if you can do the minutia of stuff, you know, like little patches and stuff like that. Eventually, I suppose you could probably do that if it's not straight out of the gate. Basically, paint your own ship however you want to. Tag it with your own graffiti.
Our modified Frontier is a practical ship, but with a little creativity, your ship can look like almost anything you want.
How many people do you think are going to be building
Odd,
Fireflies?
but one of my favorite ways of customizing ships is I make them look like animals. The HMS Platypus, as I called it.
She's the quirkiest one
Or it
in
had
this
like a giant tail to it.
whole presentation. A detachable longship would be cool. Like a Viking longship.
And we've done spiders, we've done mechs. So it's really whatever your imagination is.
Look at that.
And while you can build your home among
they build they build a bot, a Gundam out of components that are square. It's like Lego. Oh, so Pilgrim said like a Nostromo for you. Yeah, a Nostromo looks pretty badass. I really dig it. Yeah, that's exactly where I went, Tull. Is that an Optimus? Yes, I think it is a Optimus Prime ship. Yeah, that thing, when that thing does fall, it transforms into just cubes when it lands poorly and falls apart.
the stars the way you want to, you're probably not the only person who will call your ship home.
Like the old sailing ships, Tull? They'd use the long ship or a longboat to go ashore. Yeah, gotcha, okay.
Engines ready.
The Frontier is fueled and ready, Captain.
Some of the members of Constellation can join you on your journey. These companions can serve on your crew, and they'll always be there when you travel.
We'll be traveling together until we
I think that guy was powered by AI.
or this lead runs dry.
Very robotic.
Each
So, and you know what? I'll let it go through this.
Comes with their own valuable skills for your ships and outposts, as well as unique quest lines. Eventually, some friendships might blossom into romance.
I don't know that I've ever really loved anyone except you.
Oh boy.
And if you're looking for a little extra help on your ship,
He says that
you
to
can
the robot.
always hire additional crew at spaceports.
Got any room on your ship for someone like me?
Sure.
You'll also meet potential crew members out in the world.
Still think there might be a spot for me on your ship? I gotta get off this rock.
Assign crew to your ship or outposts and their unique skills.
So that's cool. They all have their own skills. They have specialties where you can assign them within your ship or within an outpost or something like that. Yeah. He was the person that was in charge of food. He's just sitting there. Looks like he's about to die on that rock, for crying out loud. Yeah. Pilgrim said, I hope he wasn't the pilot. He got lost. Phil said, I wonder if party members will be procedurally generated. My understanding is that they are. That their quirks and stuff like that are all procedurally generated. But I don't know yet. I haven't had full confirmation. Until I actually see it, there's a lot of people talking about different things.
Will affect how they run. And just like companions, most crew members can lend a hand in the field. Take Bosco, for instance.
these designs
So,
around the core basics of a NASA machine.
sorry to, well, I'm not sorry to start and stop. That's what I was going to do. But so Pilgrim says, looks like you can crew multiple ships. You can have multiple ships, but you're not controlling them all together. You hop from one to another. But apparently you can have multiple ships, but it's not a fleet that you're in control of.
Please avoid getting shot. You might die.
I still wanted to give it almost a humanoid personality, so I elongated the limbs. This tends to make him feel more human-like and give him a little personality.
It is a shame exploration requires so much bloodshed.
And
Using
philosophical
the shipbuilding
bot.
tools and crew selection features in Starfield, you'll be able to build and captain the ship of your dreams. And now, let's take to the sky.
Interesting ship.
We're putting you in the cockpit of your very own spaceship and telling you that you can do pretty much anything. And that is really cool for us as developers. Spaceflight should be exciting and dangerous, and you should feel like you're in complete control every step of the way. We've extended that sense of control to ship combat. It's not about just hitting your triggers to fire your weapons. It's a complex dance between your
What's the
piloting
scream all
skills and
about?
our power allocation.
Why did I hear the scream on somebody else's
Boosting
ship?
power to
I
your
shouldn't hear the
engines will make your
scream from
ship
somebody
faster.
else's ship.
Powering up the ground drives will shorten the amount of time it takes.
Oh, I
before
want
you
to take
can
a look at something because I keep missing it. It's not this. You're supposed to, yeah, Pilgrim said open comms. If I'm in combat with somebody, I think I'm going to be shutting down some comms because I don't want to hear screams. But I guess I want to hear them say, hey, quit shooting me. I think I'll surrender. Last I knew, no one can hear you scream in space. Unless you're on my ship. Oh, never mind. I've said too much. So apparently you're going to be able to transfer power across 6 different items from one main pool. And this almost screams that I need a separate keyboard that has knobs so I can just turn a knob and it pulls it from different areas to increase the capacity of one thing or another. Because I don't want to have to stop what I'm doing to try and fiddle around with a control panel.
will make your ship faster. Powering up the ground drives will shorten the amount of time it takes before you can make
That's
a jump.
right. Phil said laser, ballistics,
And moving your power to
missiles,
your weapons
engine,
and
shields,
means
gravity.
you're ready for a fight.
It seems like that.
You should always be on your toes because you're not alone out there.
And you can go all expanse and kill gravity for combat. Yep. And you can enhance your targeting system so that
Unlocking the
it
targeting control
aids
system
assist.
skill will allow you to zero in on specific subsystems of the ship you target.
which is awesome as hell. I dig this. This reminds me of Traveler and Mega Traveler back in the day.
Destroying an enemy
Gimbal
ship,
turrets.
you can loot the
Toll.
remains from your
Yeah.
cockpit. You can always turn any
It's
ship
the only
that
way to
engages
fly.
you into scrap. But you can also take a more
Having those fixed hardpoints just straightforward would really suck in space because you'd have to pivot everything. Although, you don't have resistance from something fluidic like air or water. you still have mass and you're still going in a direction. So you would have to just kind of your ship sideways to point something. But gimbals, man, just zips around wherever you want and off you go. As long as the laser is, or whatever it is, has the ability to shift as well. Lasers are just a mirror away, I suppose.
Personal approach by docking with the enemy vessel and boarding their ship.
This is so cool. Oh man, I wanted to talk about this for a minute. So Toll says, still have massive momentum with no friction to slow it down. Yeah, embrace the suck. Yep. This is so cool. So if you want to take over somebody's ship, you don't just blow it all to hell. You wound it so that it can't fly away, and then you dock and you take it over. So cool. I mean, this is like a Star Citizen level mechanic, except that, you don't have everything else associated with Star Citizen. There's a level of complexity in Star Citizen that this is probably going to be so much watered down from that it's much more approachable. Yeah, it'll be cool. God, I want this in VR though, so bad.
Once you've taken control of an enemy ship, it's yours.
That's so cool.
Add it to your fleet and retrieve it at any spaceport. But space is way more than fighting for your life. Just like when you're planetside, there are plenty of sights to see and stops to make on the way to your next adventure. Like these massive star yards. Walk the halls. Talk
Just
to the
start lighting
crew.
them up with your
Maybe you're talking to
blasters.
buying a whole new ship.
A civilian in my star yard. Let's see about getting you a proper ship, one worthy of you.
Maybe you'll dock with a
I agree, Pilgrim.
gigantic battleship, like the UC Vigilance.
VR would be really nice for me. I have a Pico 4 over there.
Or rub elbows with the galaxy's wealthy elite on a cruise ship fit for the stars. There are plenty of personal encounters.
Yeah,
to be
Toll, I
had
don't
as
know how the
well.
mechanic is.
You can hail
If
any
you have
ship
to fly
come
it back
across
or
to
if you
trade,
just tell it
swap
to
info,
fly.
or maybe even commit an act of piracy.
Let's do this.
When I'm playing, I generally go crazy. I definitely go like the more piracy routes. I want to take over ships. I'm gonna board ships. I'm like, this is now mine. I steal all the
okay.
sandwiches and put them, in my cargo hold that I have specifically for sandwiches. I don't want to play the hero, but I want to go out and just start
She's so
taking
quirky.
things from people as quickly as possible.
I have a bunch
Some
of
strangers
sandwiches.
might be looking for a little human connection in the darkness of space.
Hello, stranger. I just finished cooking up some food. If you want to come on over, just pop on by.
Some of the best moments are the ones you discover on your own.
Pardon.
The thing I love most about Starfield is that it is a Bethesda game through and through. It's really about going to strange new places, meeting interesting people, and getting
Well,
sidetracked
Toll, I guess
on
we
zany
could
adventures.
purchase a
Then,
$3,500
realizing 2 hours later, that
Apple
you're involved
Vision
in a
Pro, right?
completely new
It's supposed to
story.
have really good eye tracking.
Human? We thought we were the only ones
Maybe
to
not.
leave Earth.
That DNA is so present here. It's in our random encounters, it's in our handcrafted quests,
Hey, Miles
and
Z.
it feels so cool to play it and just make
Here,
your
let me
own
pause.
path in this universe.
Let me pause this for a moment. Thanks for the raid, Z. Appreciate it. Everybody, I think, is new to ohmTown, so let me introduce myself. I am MayorWatt. This is all ohmTown. Hey, this didn't. That's not reloading. Anyway, although I am a variety streamer, I actually talk more about the news. I play Diablo now, and but just started doing that, obviously. I do a lot of beta testing with games, but that's usually under non-disclosure stuff. Really into games, but I talk about a whole bunch of different topics. I built a search engine news aggregator called ohmTown at ohmtown.com. And we talk about the news every day, 9 p.m. Eastern. And been doing that for the last, 500 plus episodes now since January 1st, 2022. and looking to hang out and talk about the news, talk about this game in particular, because I will be playing the hell out of this game. But thanks for coming and hanging out. What were you playing over there? I suppose everybody's checking out. Oh, you were playing Fortnite. How are you liking Fortnite now? There's so much more customization from when I actually goofed around with. I'm a tourist when it comes to these kind of to Fortnite style games, battle royale games. Yeah, there's more stuff coming over to Fortnite. So yeah, maybe one of these days I'll go back to it. But I was never really good at it. I like really like base building survival games more. So welcome. Thanks for coming. Wait, you just pre-ordered the controller, the headset, and the watch for Starfield. Wow. Yeah. I'm gonna keep my eye on you. Yeah, that's some serious investment now. I don't even know what the price is for the watch. Isn't it like there? No. Did they announce that? I know that the controller is like 120. I'm not going to talk about it. Yeah, it's like $300. Yeah. Just the watch. Yeah, and then the headset. Yeah, you're into it. Well, I can appreciate it. So, I only have a smartwatch, so I'm into watches. That's actually one of the categories over in ohmTown. It's a show that I want to bring to Twitch called Band to Bezel, where you talk about watches. And I'm into the technology. I'm not necessarily buying and acquiring watches, but I'm really into the tech. It's just awesome. Yeah. The $300 is the collector's edition with the watch. Yeah, I think that's the only way you can get that collector's edition is the watch. I think that's it. There's other strata for the Starfield various purchases over. There's like only 2 that are on Steam, but I think that there's several more. Well, congratulations on getting the watch and jumping in with both feet into the deep end of the ice cold water that is Starfield. So I'm just going through this. If you're going to stick around, I'm going through this the deep dive, as it were, and talking about the various elements because, you know, like you, I see myself being up to here in Starfield. So let's keep on going through this.
There are over 1,000 planets out there, just waiting for you to visit. We want you to
And
feel
be
like
sure to follow
explorers.
so that you get notified when I do the show tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. I do a show that talks about
We want you to feel hopeful.
a bunch of the
We want you
news
to feel
that
the
gets
sense of
aggregated
awe
through
and wonder.
my website,
And
ohmtown.com.
sometimes a little fear. We're giving you a massive
Yeah,
playground and a
thanks
ton
for
of
the follow.
toys, and just setting you free.
Man, I dig this. The fact that you can dock and take them over without destroying the ship. Awesome.
Hey everybody, we've shown you so much stuff, but we thought we'd just take a little break and show you something a little bit different. You know, we put so much detail into our game worlds.
Gonna
and
make
we
a B-wing?
love the opportunity to bring that into the real world with our collector's edition.
Make a Superstar
And
Destroyer.
for this game, we've done a watch.
Death Star.
It is the Constellation Explorer
Oh, look.
watch.
You have
this is
perfect
the watch
timing.
that you actually get in the game that acts as part of your HUD.
Lyle
where it's
Z,
the
you
compass
have
and
perfect
then
timing.
environmental
You come in and
information. It connects to your phone to give
do
you
that watch
notifications
flex.
and other information. And we've also designed this
That's
really
so
cool
cool.
case that it comes with.
Do I want to
is
get
fun.
this? I want the
Yeah,
case.
we really took as much care and designed this
Oh,
case as we did.
sorry
the
about that,
watch.
Miles Z.
Our attention to detail in the game totally
Yeah,
translates
hype is
to
right.
this. Inspired by the cases
Bad
that
bot.
the astronauts used during the
Bad
Apollo
night
era
bot.
to bring back samples from the moon. It's got an intricate locking mechanism.
I want this
authentic,
case
heavy,
because of
comes
the
with a
locking
Constellation
mechanism.
patch,
It's got
made of
my
strap,
aesthetic.
and the overall
I like
functionality
the
and
steampunk
believability of
feel.
NASA is something that would exist in
Or
the
NASA
world, in
punk,
the
as it
Starfield
were.
universe.
That's what they call it.
Hey, take this. You'll find it very useful out there, and it even tells the time.
We actually have
Nice.
something else. Now that we're part of Xbox, we get to work with the amazing people on the Xbox hardware team, and together we have created this custom
They call it
limited
NASA
edition
punk,
Starfield
actually. Even
controller.
in
It's
this
awesome.
demo,
It is now, you know,
in this
our
deep
favorite
dive, they
controller.
refer to it as
We love
NASA
this
punk.
because it's
So
inspired
it
by the
follows the
actual
physics of
controls of your
NASA.
spaceship. And not
But then
only
it has the
that,
personalization and the
created the first
chunkiness,
ever
you know,
custom
of
headset
punk.
with Xbox. And this
So
is a
how
perfect
you
pairing
want
with
it,
that controller.
maybe slightly grungy, steampunky, whatever your personality is, that's the punk side of it. It's pretty, but I'm not going to be playing this with a controller, so I don't have the affinity for that. Yeah, I'm not a console player, so. If that is in-game, my god, that is just spectacular. I got a brand new system, and I have a feeling that it's going to be screaming, but I didn't get a 4090.
That breathe life
I didn't
into
even
our
get a
world.
40 series.
But Starfield isn't just a Bethesda Game Studios world, it's a Bethesda Game Studios galaxy.
Toll,
So
you
why go
have
this
a
big with
HOTAS
Starfield?
and a heavy
Because we
equipment
wanna
side
give you
panel and keyboard
freedom on a
mouse. You're going to
galactic
use all of
level.
that?
The freedom to experience
The heavy
both the
equipment thing
exciting
I've been
planets
looking at, like,
and the
hey,
quiet
yeah, I
ones.
think that would be awesome for this.
Scanning a planet before you land is a great way to get a sneak peek at the available resources you can use for crafting,
Oh,
building,
man,
and customizing.
This is so
I think
cool.
what's cool.
Okay, I'm sorry. I said at the very beginning of this that I was going to be stopping and starting this and fits, but this is my jam. It speaks to me again and again and again. So in my storybook world that I've been writing in and using software to build worlds and stuff like that, I like the universe, the omniverse that I have been envisioning since I was a kid, is basically a main key planet has lines of energy around it, and where two or more cross, it forms a gate, and that gate leads to another planet somewhere in the omniverse. And so all of these worlds that I've created, I think the last time that I generated the universe, I was somewhere around like 2 million planets, systems, actual systems, not planets, but systems. And where I put a world, I generate all of its stats. And this is doing exactly what I do, except that it's making it tangible. It's making it real for me to be able to go and hang out on these planets. It's so cool.
Scanning a planet before you land is a great way to get a sneak peek.
So it tells you the resource. It's like No Man's Sky again, but it's just punched up to 11. It's so cool. Tells you the stats. It gives it in a different way than No Man's Sky. That's a little bit more approachable. It doesn't look so like clunky. I dig No Man's Sky. I love playing it in VR. Yeah, so this is so cool.
The available resources you can use for crafting, building, and customizing.
I think what's cool about this whole system that we generate the planet itself
Wow,
as a
Pilgrim and
procedural
Toll,
content,
man.
but the handcrafted
Y'all are
content
into this.
itself comes as the
I don't
player
have any of
explore.
that stuff anymore.
Our system builds a planet as the player
I've
approaches
purchased
it,
and
we
sold,
stitch together a block of terrain.
various
After
pieces of
that, we have
equipment,
the
and
system
now you're
that
making me want to
adds
get back into it.
interesting locations for the player to explore, creatures to encounter,
I'm jelly.
ore and plants to pick up.
That's so cool.
It allows us to
So
add that touch
I see
of
myself just going from
environmental
planet to
storytelling
planet,
that
cataloging
Bethesda is known for.
everything.
Aggressive creatures have been disrupting our experiments. Their habitat isn't far from here. If you could take care of them for us, we would be in your debt.
So even if your friends were to visit the same planet that you had, you would have a different story to tell.
Yeah, so Toll, you're really into the sim stuff, huh? See, I'm into VR, and the times where I've tried to use HOTAS and VR at the same time, the game just kind of threw up every time I've done it. So this is neat. He hits his pack in the back, and then the pack launches him into the air and blows him up.
It's completely up to you how you want to interact with each
Oh,
planet.
really?
Whether you
So
want
you
to
got
explore
custom
and
stuff
see what
going
you
on.
can find,
Wow.
harvest resources and be on your way, or simply take in the views.
Man, that's
With
so
the help
cool.
of your scanner, you'll chart the uncharted and discover exotic wildlife.
The whole flora
If you
and fauna
have the
thing,
skills,
it
you
just
can
has
even
me.
figure out that certain creatures and plants, you can build an outpost and produce resources from those plants and animals. You can get experience and
has burning
rewards
damage?
for fully surveying planets and fully surveying a whole system.
Oh my goodness, tall, jeez.
When we were concepting
Still
these
looking for a
creatures, we
radio
really wanted
panel
to
to
think of them as
rebuild.
natural to
Oh
the
my goodness.
environment. We didn't want alien monsters. We wanted
Yeah,
native
now I'm gonna have to
wildlife.
go and root around,
Something
find
you've
stuff.
never seen before.
When it comes to our exteriors, when the sun
People think that
moves,
I'm in a
all that
NASA
light is calculated
launch
in
center
real
to
time
begin
through
with.
the atmosphere.
Once they
Our
see me
biggest goal
surrounded
for
by
lighting
all
with
the stuff that
Starfield was
you've
to
been
make the
talking
game
about,
feel
Tall,
more filmic, to use lighting and
they
color
might think that I need to be on
really
a
make
watch
it feel
list.
more cinematic.
I hope they expand it so that I can like make a zoo with all those animals. You know, you can't do it in the real world, right? Like animals should be free and live naturally and all of that kind of stuff. But you know, in Starfield, I think it should be possible. It's
After
so
some
big.
exploring, you can find a spot to set up a base camp. Outposts can be built almost anywhere on any planet. And the habitat modules come in all shapes and sizes, filling all different purposes. You can even live in them. Assign crew and companions to work at your outposts for added bonuses, and set up extractors to harvest resources while you're away.
Something cool we have this time is we have a new fly cam where you can toggle between on-foot building, or you can now use a top-down isometric camera, which helps plan out larger parts of the outpost.
That's
and
awesome,
placing
Tol.
those larger halves. So that way you can really plan your structures and what the overall feel of your outpost is. And then when you're on your feet, you
That's
can
probably the
really
only way I'll learn to
decorate
fly.
and fine-tune things much easier.
Yeah, some of those setups are wildly expensive. Like a legit racing steering wheel and stuff like that is like sometimes $1,200
Add
bucks,
crafting
something
and
like that.
research stations in your outpost to utilize any resources you find, or
Okay, so now we're in the base, and the base can grow and expand to meet what you need. And you do mining, so it now has like survival, base building, space combat. Well, galaxy, 1,000 planets, cataloging. You're making friends. You're inviting them into your ship, into your base. You're doing skills. How can this be missing the one thing? The one thing. It needs social. I mean, it's just right on the edge of being perfect, and like social to the point where it isn't overwhelming. Like you can play some like Elder Scrolls Online or something like that, and there's just so much that every once in a while you might run into somebody that you befriend, but being able to play a game like this with 3, 4, 5, 6 other people, and you're all experiencing the same base or something like that, and going on the same adventure together, hanging out and talking, I think that would be awesome. But so far I love everything that I have seen.
already have.
Mod your weapons to adapt them to your playstyle. Different weapon sights and scopes, larger magazines, a selection of grips and barrels, different ammunition like explosive rounds.
So, oh my goodness. Oh, that's so cool.
All you stealth players out there will surely need a suppressor.
A laser should be a suppressor.
You can also choose to go hands-on with melee weapons.
Nice.
I think it's always a delicate balance between like what's realistic, what's sim, and what's Hollywood. And I think we sort of err on the side of like what's fun for the player.
Yeah. Borderline Hollywood.
With Starfield, we've completely overhauled our combat. It's more dynamic, the animations are more fluid.
So if you haven't seen the very end of this, stay tuned.
We probably have more mods and more weapons in this game than I want to say any other game we've done before. There's a lot of variety.
Upgraded gear is just one of the many factors to pay attention to when engaging in combat. You may need to switch things up based on your environment.
Just deletes
Gravity
this
is
guy from
different for
orbit.
each planet, and boost packs are excellent for getting around.
Yeah, it looks
And
like
for giving
that's
you
where
an
I'll be
edge in
going.
combat. Sometimes you'll even feel like you're flying.
Yep,
Zero gravity
Mandalorian.
environments pose a different challenge. Firing a ballistic weapon in zero-G will actually push you backwards. Energy weapons, on the other hand, offer a more stable shooting.
Now, if you didn't catch that, this is amazing. This is something that I would expect in Star Citizen, you know, not in a one-player, you know, $60 game, $70 game, or more if, well, if you've got the scratch and want to get everything. It actually has kinetics. So when you sit there, it has real world physics. When you fire something that has, what do you want to, it's not really, it's anything that forces out something with mass from your location, from a braced position. So when you fire something and the round leaves the barrel or the well, it doesn't need to be gunpowder because I don't know what they're using in this, but let's just say gunpowder. The gunpowder detonates, it blows you back this way as the round is going out that way. And your resistance is what allows that round to go that way. Otherwise, you would separate at the same rate. Your mass in relation to that explosion, the energy imparted at the time of the explosion, you just kind of slide away from each other and the round would go out at its rate based on its mass. So Pilgrim says recoil is guns. It only goes so far though. Like when you fire a weapon in the real world, right, that slide comes back and hits an end point so that it reloads, but all of that energy goes shooting down your arm into your shoulder, your muscles, your skeleton. You're braced, and so you are the one that are holding all of that recoil. Bigger guns, bigger recoil. But in space, if you're just hovering there and you fire something that has recoil, you're going to drop back. That throws your aim off. You know, talk about muzzle rise. No. It's your entire body lifting up. What a trip. And then if it's something like a laser, although the photons have mass, it's not going to be the same thing. So the realism just, again, another element that just really gives me a lot of hype. I'm going to love this game.
Experience.
We also have mag weapons. These are high-powered electromagnetic induction ballistic arrays. Each barrel has its own targeting laser and can dish out some serious damage.
And yeah, Pilgrim, I think it's the procedural side of things.
Whether you want to get up close,
So if I join your world,
fists,
everything has to sync,
or you like more compact weapons like
and
pistols
things
and
might
submachine
conflict.
guns,
Or
maybe
I
you
have to
prefer
get pulled
something
into your
bigger.
world naked, you know? This is cool.
Starfield's got you covered.
It's a really lightweight Gatling gun. Okay, let's back up for a second. Did he break off that right there and throw it like a grenade? Right? So he fires this a bunch of times and then, or they fire it. I don't know who they are, but right? Bang, bang, bang. And then they break it off and throw something. But it looked like the cylinder dropped out entirely. Maybe they just grabbed a grenade. Fast switching of weapons. Bunch of different accessories. Bugs. Looks like Han Solo's blaster with a better scope. Good to see they have red dots. It's one way to get to orbit. Oh, here's the end. I want to play that again.
Thanks again for being with us today. We are just so grateful that you've taken the time and spent it here.
So what do you think of that
there's
ending?
Probably a lot to take in. There's a lot to the game, even more than we could show here. You know, as we play it, we're always
deep
sharing
dive
these unique and
ends
special moments that
with a
only
Cliffy.
game like this can bring. When I think about what makes it special, it really is the people here. This game is a reflection of the incredible and passionate team that made it. All of them putting something special of themselves into it. So let's hear some of their favorite moments.
I love the way that our final combination of all the new tech has come together to create some of the most beautiful sunsets and sunrises we've ever had in any of our games.
I love the creatures, the exploration, every biome is different. The word that comes to mind is vast.
I like to use our photo mode to take rock star photos.
I just love that constant feel of discovery and wow, I can't believe that there's more here.
I'm most excited about our outpost building systems.
My favorite part is every time you step out on a planet, it's a unique experience.
You spend all this time building your ship and you see it on the landing pad. These things are gigantic. It's the kind of thing that you just can't get anywhere else.
There's something about
Space Cowboy. So, sorry to pause on
seeing
him.
the tower over in the distance.
I'm gonna pause
and going,
somewhere here. That's a little bit more scenic than just looking at him going. So Pilgrim says you'll become the chosen one. Yeah, I dig everything about this. That Cliffy makes me think that you become super powered based on the gadget that you're building, because they don't shy away from just straight up telling you you're building something. And somewhere in your intro, you end up touching something that they describe as speaking to you. So you are the chosen one already. You just haven't, taken on your final form and, start Hadoukening people. It just seems like you're going to become a superpower. And frankly, to me, I don't even care about that. I know it sounds weird, but I want to go and play this game and do the story, but do it so chill and hang out with people and catalog everything. And it's totally like just something that I want to do. I feel like I'm compelled to play this game just so that I can be the archivist for my particular universe, my particular solar system, galaxy, whatever it is that they actually describe this as. I think they just refer to it as a galaxy of 1,000 planets. Over 1,000 planets is what they say. And because there's no real competition, because there's going to be somebody out there that plays this game so fast that even if they do take part in the storyline, they're going to be done in a day or something like that. Yeah. But I want to just immerse myself in it and play it. And I really want them to push this game so that it has expansions and it has multiplayer. It doesn't have to be massively multiplayer. I'm not worried about that. But I want to be able to invite people into my galaxy and have fun and stuff like that in it. Go and do quests and whatever else. Build a big base. Pilgrim says speedrun would be a sin for a game like this. I agree. You have to soak in it, you know? You have to do like a Scrooge McDuck and just kind of swim around in your gold coins. Yeah, I love the idea of this. And it's so cinematic from end to end.
I know the gravity's low here. I think I can make that jump.
My favorite part is biomes, spaceships,
Audio design,
planets.
The day-night cycle, those details matter to me. Diplomacy, exploration, freedom, the ending.
Basco, obviously.
I love the robot so much.
The incredible amount of worlds we created.
Sniper rifles, come on. Lever action, rocket launcher.
Brain sprout. I love, but some people might find creepy. I don't know. I know it's right, Ben. The thing that I enjoy most about the game is the freedom to be who you want to be, do what you want to do. It's what you've come to expect from a Bethesda title, but on
if you
a
can walk
much
around
bigger
on
scale.
things that size, the verticality is amazing. The soundstage sounds great.
On behalf of all of us, we can't wait for you to play Starfield and make your own special moments.
Good luck, Constellation.
Pretty awesome.
You are go for launch.
Okay, folks, let's check something out here. I am going to have to bow out and do some mayoral duties. But before that happens, I want to send you off to... Well, you want to go somewhere else? How do y'all feel about Diablo?
Play it day one with Game Pass.
So how do you all feel about Diablo? I've been watching a lot of stuff. So, oh, and this is my website, by the way, if you're curious about that. I built ohmTown as a news aggregator because I get information overload. You should be able to pull me up by MayorWatt. I don't think that there's another MayorWatt out there. I don't even know what my battle tag. I know there's a discriminator, but I don't even know what it is. But keep in touch. Send me a message, and I'll look it up and get back to you. No worries. So yeah, this is what ohmTown is. I got 6 main categories. Then there's the podcasts and daily elections. We just brought this back in-house. We had a third party providing the service, but I brought it in-house. So there's all of these channels. These are actual channels that I want to bring to Twitch. I'll be doing some of these over the next couple of weeks and kind of doing a standard show. Both the 9 p.m. Eastern show. So every day, 9 p.m. Eastern, the AI and I pull 12 articles out of the news that we find are interesting. Doesn't necessarily revolve around gaming. Where appropriate, it's basically the gamut of life, because that's how life is. And I'm sarcastic and snarky and maybe a little cranky and bitter about things. So it comes out in the stream. But we have a good time. And if you are oh so interested, then be sure to follow and you'll get a notice when we go live. And it's usually right when I go live is when we start it, probably within the first, minute or so. Show runs about an hour and a half. And we have a good time talking about the news. Try not to be very serious, but about serious topics sometimes. So keep it all in stride, and we don't stress about things. We just have a good time. Gotcha. Thanks. I do have that. Yeah, I don't know it off at the top of my head, but I'll follow up with you, Toll. Sounds awesome. So yeah, it's a YouTube channel. Just do a search for ohmTown. You'll find it over on YouTube. It's a podcast also named ohmTown. And all of the shows, I plan to have 50 shows in the coming months. Looking for hosts and co-hosts. If you are really into a particular topic or something that isn't even listed here, usually you can suss out what the topic is from the content. Or from the title, I should say. If you're in drinking, then Distillerist. If you're into music, then Mix War. All kinds of stuff. The AI and I have experience across a pretty broad spectrum of topics. From the focus that we actually talk about from is business, technology, and society. And I have gaming stuff and how it relates to those three and all kinds of stuff in between. I mean, it's really dynamic, really holistic. So stick around. I'm going to fire y'all off to a buddy of mine, Bald Zebra. They're playing, unless you want to go to another, if somebody tells me that they'd rather see more Starfield, I'll bounce you over to Starfield. Otherwise, I'm going to send you over to Bald Zebra, who's awesome, great personality, chill like me, not really crazy, but a great personality, great community. Oh, really? Hey, Toll. That's awesome. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Let me just do that. He's still streaming, so let me get you all over there. So whatever message you want to tell him, have a good time and enjoy the rest of your night. I will be back just before 9 p.m. Eastern for the show. And no, thank you, Pilgrim. Appreciate your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. And if I don't see you tonight, then I'm sure that I will see you around when I stream. So we'll bump into each other. And you too, Toll. We'll see each other around. Everybody else who's in chat, appreciate everybody. You've made my day. So thanks so much. See you soon. Why didn't it do it? What the heck? Really? There we go. There was a space. All right, folks. Thanks again. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.